Alright, let me show you something really nice. Something that you don't get to see very often. Or maybe not at all. And that's a handmade guitar. A truly handmade guitar. Pretty weird, eh? It's so sad that most of you have never seen one and will never ever see or touch one. Here it is. Alright, so what the heck is this? Well, this is a 14-inch body Les Paul. Very Gibson inspired instrument. Vintage Gibson inspired instrument. And as you can see, it's totally Zacharized and feels nothing like a Gibson, new or old. It feels totally like a Zachary guitar, and you know, it's got all the hallmarks of my design. Try to go through it. It's a semi-hollow construction, meaning that there is a center block running right through it here. Center block all the way through. And that is all part is the same piece of wood as what you see as the sides and the back, which is made of carina. And if you don't know what carina is the wood that they used to make the original 50s, late 50s Flying V's and Explorers. So it's a great wood. I bought some about 20 years ago and I still have some left, so I figured I'm going to use it. And it's a two-piece. I think it's a two-piece, isn't it? Is it a two-piece? Let's see. Let's see here. You got to understand, these guitars are new to you, but they're old news to me because you know, I've gone on and I've built, let's see, I've built two other newer guitars after this. But it just takes so long to put up a video page, a video page and even a web page. A web page takes a lot, and I hate doing it. I'd much rather be building. Right? It's all about building because that's what a guitar player is. A guitar player is it all has to do with building, because a guitar builder is none other than somebody who builds guitars. That's why somebody like PRS is not a guitar builder, and he never was, because it's all about just building and creating. It's all about creation. It's something that one must do if one is born to be a creator. One is born to be a builder. One is born to be creative. A guitar player is not somebody who talks about guitars on the internet. A guitar player is it's the same thing. It's someone who plays the guitar and lives to play the guitar, not to talk, just to talk about guitars. Like many of you on the internet, that's what you do. Yeah, getting back to this, looks like it's a two-piece. Right down the center, it's glued together, but you can't see it. I even forgot. And a two-piece, very resonant instrument. It's tremendous. I mean, I can't convey it, you know, while playing it in a video. I can't convey to you what it feels like. Much of what guitars are, it's not just the way they sound, it's also the way they feel to the player. And that's something that you cannot convey in any video. and you may watch a video and you may say, well, the guitar sounds pretty good, whatever. Well, feeling it would be a whole other experience for you. You know, it may blow your mind, or you may say, well, it sounds not bad, but it feels awful. And so it's the feel that one is after, and the only way that you can get a feel, that tremendous feeling of an instrument, is to make an organic instrument. And to make an organic instrument, you can only do it by hand, not by CNC machine, okay? By hand. And that's why vintage guitars are so special, not because they are so much great guitars, but because they are very organic. And that's what people are attracted to and addicted to, the organic feel, which if you walk into any music store, guitar shop, or whatever, it's a disgusting, gross experience, because all you see is plastic appliances hanging up, and they're all the fucking same. It's all this sterile, lifeless, inorganic, foreign object that pretty well your psyche and your body viscerally rejects. But you didn't figure that out yet, but maybe now you'll be conscious of it. So anyway, 2 pieces of Carina, oiled, never plastic paint, of course, and haul it out on both sides. And the top is very interesting. I don't like figured wood at all. PRS in the 80s and 90s just absolutely made me vomit. And the people that bought that stuff made me vomit even more. It's the consumer that's at fault. It's always the consumer, the idiotic white man is the consumer of guitars, and a lot of them are very low IQ, and they get very manipulated by hype and programming and indoctrination, propaganda. And that's what PRS was based on, and still is based on. Now they got a big, huge problem because all their marketing venues, channels are gone. So now they have to basically manipulate these YouTube guitar channels and do their advertising, get them to shill for them is what they do. And a lot of other CNC companies do the same thing. They get these guitar channels to shill for them. So what you're getting is an infomercial, and you don't even realize it. You're getting a nice guy there talking to you about guitars, makes a video every day for you, keep you going, keep you pacified, keep you a nice NPC, non-programmable character, which in fact you are programmed, very much so. But it's all great, isn't it? So getting back to this guitar. The way this came about is I had the body and I had the top all, well, I didn't have the top, but I had the body all cut out actually for a couple of years now, maybe 2-3 years. It just sat on the shelf, and I was waiting for the opportunity to start on this, but I just didn't get around to it. I was doing other stuff, and then I really wanted to build full power Charlie Christian. You notice the pickups are a little different? Well, these are Charlie Christian pickups dating back to the late 30s. The design and the characteristic of Charlie Christian pickups, as I've explained before. They are wound with 38 gauge thick, comparatively very thick wire, probably the thickest wire used in pickup winding. So as you will see later, I will show you the actual pickups right after I built them up close, and they are very heavy pickups because there's a lot of copper in here. There's a lot of copper in here, and I had to completely fabricate these pickups. Anyway, I'll talk later on that, but I wanted to build full power pickups. And so I needed a guitar to put these pickups into, and so this was the perfect guitar, Gibson inspired guitar with Charlie Christian pickups in it, just wonderful match. And here it is. Oh, the top is interesting. It's a piece of fairly thick veneer, and if you notice the slight curl in it, it's the same. It may remind you of a Gibson top, because it's the same wood from the same supplier that Gibson uses. And I happened to get a hold of this guy as well a number of years ago, and I bought a whole bunch of this. Still got a little bit left, and so it's the top flame maple veneer, but not. I told him I want it maybe with a little figure, and I bought a whole bunch with no figure, or a little figure. I don't like the gross shit, the overly figured stuff. And what I did is I laminated that veneer onto a piece of birch plywood, and then I thickness sanded it to get the exact same thickness as let's say a vintage Gibson ES 175 or any of those ES guitars had. So it's the same thickness top, and I automatically get the back through hollowing it out. And then the neck, moving on to the neck, it's actually a 25-inch scale. It's a little bit longer than a vintage Gibson. It's 25-inch scale. Hey, same scale as PRSs, most PRSs. And the neck is mahogany, and the fingerboard is Pau Ferro, which is similar to rosewood. I think it's in the same family as rosewood. It's a nice mahogany, lightweight mahogany neck, and I wanted to use open gear tuners to make it more interesting. And of course, all the hardware is gold plated, including those washers, and of course using the spike neck joint. I can control the angle of the neck perfectly, so the setup on these things are just wonderful. The angle of the neck dictates the height of the bridge and all the other angles, and it's very loud acoustically, of course. And I didn't want to use a tailpiece. No reason. Keep it simple, smart guy. Keep it simple, smart guy. That's what it's all about. And I just have these eyelets here, threads through the body. What else can I tell you about it? The quintessential headstock design. It's just a wonderful instrument, and it turned out so well. I love it. This is why it's so hard to sell this stuff. My God, it's a nightmare. because I love them so much. How can you sell something you love and something that can never be duplicated? This can never be duplicated. I can never make one just like this, even if I wanted to. Never. Every guitar has variability. These are not CNC made, cookie cutter, deep fried snake oil guitars. You know, if you want those, you've got plenty of choices in that, my friend. Good luck to you. Good luck to you, idiot. Very simple controls, master volume. Very close. I mean, you'll see me playing it and doing the volume, manipulating the volume constantly as I play. It's right there for you. It's not in the way, it's right there. Your pinky goes around it. Wow. And master tone, and just a 3-way Les Paul switch. What else? Of course, the dots are always wood, unless I do them in aluminum. And the side dots here are aluminum. And let's not forget the frets. Very interestingly, the first 6 frets are super wide and super tall, and starting on the 7th fret to the 24th fret, it is still wide and tall, but they are not quite as wide. So a little bit narrower. But the first 6, where most of the wear happens and a lot of the playing happens, is very wide, very tall for great bending, and they are all stainless steel frets. It's just I will show you later the harness. Making the harness is quite involved. Installing the electronics is quite involved. It's just you know, work of love. It's something that I got to do. And look at the precision in the neck joint. Yeah? Is that precise enough for you, CNC lovers? You CNC lovers, those of you who have artificial intelligence hooked up to your brain. Do you have that already? Well, you better do it, because you're too stupid to do anything else. Maybe that'll help you out. If you got no talent, you better go with CNCs. Look at that, 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 look at that. Tone Pros bridge. Look at that, 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 look at that. Let's turn it around again. Look at that, look at that, look at that, look at that. Huh? Huh? Look at the strings in there. Zachary optimum tension strings. It's the only way you can play. It handles alternate tunings, of course, because of that. It is serial number 02 05 19, second day of the 5th month of the 19th year. So think of it as kind of a 335, 175, but smaller, you know, along those lines, and it's made for high performance playing, for players just like you, high performance players just like you crazy motherfuckers, you wild players, you. That's what it's for. That's what it's for. Okay, I ran out of things to talk about here. It's about it's you know, everything is done by hand, measured by hand. The thing with hand craftsmanship is where the addiction comes from. Part of it is that you're always on the verge of ruining it. So you could be working on it for 2 weeks, day and night, and then you make one wrong move and it's gone. So it's like walking a tightrope, and it's so emotionally satisfying. You know what I mean? And that's what it's all about. It's not about being a businessman. It's not about making money. It's about just creating, getting horny, absolutely horny over an idea, and just going for it. I don't fucking need anybody. I can do it all myself. I stood in line. I was tenacious. I was determined. I stood in line when they were handing out the talent, and I got some talent, and now I'm going to do something with it. And this is why I stopped going to guitar stores 20 or 25 years ago, and it makes me cringe to go near one. You know, it's for the ignorant. It's for the dummies. It's for the idiots that have not gone to the next level. But that's not you guys. Oh, I know that it's not you guys. It's the other guy. You know. All right, I'm going to show you some more about the pickups, and I'm going to play a little bit and do my best to illustrate its tone with my limited equipment. I'm not set up here with any recording devices and Pro Tools, and you know, I'm not a fancy YouTuber here. All I'm doing is I'm documenting my work. So that's all it is. All right, let's see what happens.
All right, as you can see, this is the skeleton, the frame of the pickup without the winding on it, and as you can see, everything has to be constructed and fabricated by myself, also by hand. These are not pre-made, pre-finished parts that one simply buys and then does the winding of the coil. Everything has to be cut, shaped, beveled, and assembled by myself. The length of the pull pieces has to be have to be cut and beveled, polished. The flat work has to be cut, and the edges have to be finished, and every single part has to be shaped and created. You got to understand that when you're making something by hand, everything is plotted and measured by the individual. Nothing is programmed in a computerized machine, so all the holes have to be accurate. The string spread have to be accurate, and everything has to fit tight and perfectly. Here you see the coil has been wound, the copper coil, the 38 gauge wire. I'm particularly excited about this pair of pickups because not only do they function as a Charlie Christian set, they also have the look of the Charlie Christian pickup. As you can see, I used the traditional Gibson style plastic, laminated black gloss plastic. It shouldn't be surprising to know that the original Gibson Charlie Christian pickups in the 30s were made by the pickguard department. The pickguard makers made the frame of these pickups because it's the same material that they used for pick guards. And they are also full-powered, quite powerful, very hot Charlie Christian pickups. These will go up against someone's heavy metal humbuckers. That's how loud and powerful they are. Now, a hack or a tinkerer would not understand that one must respect and one must stick to the theme, the style of guitar that is being built. And obviously, I would not put the look of these pickups on a Fender style instrument. This is not the type of material that Fender would have ever used on a pickup. Just a little detail that shows that one knows guitar history and one respects it. While on a Gibson-inspired instrument, these are very appropriate. They would not be appropriate on a Fender-inspired instrument. I would use the Fender style of fiberboard for the flat work. Just a bit of detail here that you will probably not hear from anyone else as being important. It may not even be important to you, but it's deadly important to me. If you're not an obsessive compulsive individual, you've got absolutely no business pretending to build guitars. You need to buy yourself a CNC machine. Here you see the wiring harness, which has to be compact and also measured out perfectly so that it fits the instrument efficiently and neatly without rattling while you play. You see the pickups there hooked up to the harness. Here you see the bottom of the finished pickups with the magnets installed, and you see the bottom of the pull pieces, and you see the quick connectors. Now, these pickups are very heavy, actually, relatively speaking, because they have a lot of copper wound around them. And they also have to be balanced in terms of volume, so they work as a set. And the magnets are different. The neck pickup has L equal 2, and the bridge pickup has L equal 5. Alright, so let's see what we can get.